Happy Memorial Day, Sip and Bloom! Today we're making a really beautiful red, white, and blue themed arrangement. So, to begin, I wanted to let everyone know that your kit comes with 4 Bazingo cards, and you can use these to play Bazingo on Saturday night on Facebook Live. We will also be at the Vine Room in Hopkins, Minnesota next Friday to do curbside pickup of DIY kits as well as DIY cocktail herb kits, which we are so obsessed with right now. Each kit comes with 3 different herbs, and those herbs also have really cute tags that have cocktail recipes for each of the herbs. They're gorgeous and just so beautifully procured. You'll be able to pick your own herbs when you arrive to get your kit. And in honor of the Vine Room, we wanted to do a little cheers with some red, white, and blue wine. Yum, so good. So you will notice that whether you chose the red or the blue vase, it came with a floral tape grid. And so I just wanted to explain quickly how we did this. So I use Oasis brand floral tape. And what I do is I just sort of measure out about how much I'm going to need. And you don't want to use very much because you don't want it to really show too much on the edge of your vase. It's okay if a little shows. And what that does is it creates individual areas in your vase where you can just be very intentional with how you place each stem. And that's really what's going to elevate your design. So I filled our red vase today with about halfway filled with water. And to begin, I want to take the opportunity to what's called green out our vase. So, to get started, you're going to notice you have really big pieces of pit green. This is one of my favorites to use in floral design. And I'm going to actually cut this down into smaller pieces. So, a piece like this, for example, is perfect. And I'm going to get rid of the bottom green pieces. Why do I do that? So any greens that touch your water are going to create bacteria in the water, and it's going to shorten the lifespan of your arrangement. So we want to just get rid of any of the greens that we think will touch the water. So now that we have a manageable size piece, we're going to think about where center is in our arrangement, and we're going to choose either left or right and place one of our green stems right down towards the front. So notice how that's already creating a focal point area. And from there, I'm going to grab our focal point flower, which is this gorgeous Gerber daisy in that bright red color. And I also want to pull some of our palm cushions in that bright white. And the reason I'm doing this is I want these two to sort of sit comfortably together. And also the Gerber daisy has a very gentle bend in the stem. So, by placing the red flower intertwined with the palm, it's going to give more structure to the flower. And now, I'm going to take my vase towards the edge of the table, and I'm going to figure out where I want this to sit in our vase. So I kind of want it to sit a little bit lower. So you are going to want to be fearless and cut this flower down to about there. So, this is going to sit right in the center of our vase, and notice how it sort of sits down low, and that's exactly what we want. So what we're doing, and why we're cutting so low with this focal point flower, is notice how all of a sudden you can no longer see the floral tape. So that's really key. A great florist is always hiding their mechanics, so you can't really see it. So now instantly, we want to go back in with a bit more of our pit, getting rid of any stem that's going to get in our way, and we're going to use this piece to sort of sit counter, and I set it in the very center of the grid, because this is allowing us to sort of fill out a bit with everything that we're doing. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so we also have blue iris. And so I'm actually going to grab two pieces of the iris because I want them to sit at opposite heights. So one's going to be a little bit lower, one's going to be a little bit taller. And we're just thinking about where in this vase this is sitting. And the iris is really going to open up a lot, so we want to give it space. I always like to place the iris a little bit towards the back of our vase and a little bit taller. So I'm thinking it's going to be cut just to right about there. And so what you can do is you can start off a little taller, place the two pieces angled backwards, and that's creating some counterbalance to our focal point. This feels just a little tall for me, so what I'm going to do is pull that right back out of there, cut just maybe an inch off, and then place that back down. So now that feels very balanced and very symmetrical. If there's too much towards the front or too much towards the back, it feels like your flower arrangement is sort of tipping to one side or the other, and we don't really want that. So thinking about the geometry of our arrangement, we have a focal point piece here, we have a counterbalance here, and so I want to also give it a sort of 3-point, and I'm thinking it's going to be right in here. So this is going to be cut down to just about there. And we'll just place this last piece of iris right towards the front. Fun, fun, fun. All right, so right away, I want to get some hypericum berries. And so the hypericum berries have these really wild-looking leaves, but I always take them off, and this is why. Hypericum leaves tend to wilt really quickly, and so it just doesn't look fresh after a couple of days. So I just get those right off of there because the plant has many more days of life left, but those leaves just seem to wilt too quickly. So I'm thinking we actually want to set this down low in our vase, right towards the front here. And so this is just, you sort of just have to weave it in through the other pieces. Very gently. It's going to create a really beautiful palette for the rest of our arrangement. So we have another Gerber daisy and another palm. And again, we're just going to intertwine these, giving that focal point flower a little bit more strength, getting some leaves wherever they might touch the water. And this one I kind of want to keep a little bit taller. So I'm thinking that this is going to sit sort of center in our arrangement. Maybe a little off to the side here. And that feels too tall, so we're just going to pull that right out of there. Place that right back in. There we go. Beautiful. So you're going to notice that these two front flowers are sort of fighting with each other a bit. So that's where we just go and get a little bit more of our green. And we're going to break it up. Break it up, you two. So use this moment to sort of get into your arrangement here. Spin it around so that you can see all of the different pieces, all the different angles. And we're going to do a slight adjustment, just weaving that Gerber daisy up just a bit. So by just moving it an inch, see how it starts to have a way more centralized style to it. So again, hypericum berries, get those leaves right off of there, and just set them to counterbalance the rest of our arrangement. So I'm going to grab a few more pit leaves, and any spot that you can still sort of see some of the tape, we're just going to use the pit to hide those spots. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm still not loving where I place this Gerber daisy. So the best thing to do is just pull it out, give it another spot. There, that feels right. The great thing about floral design is you really have the opportunity to play. And so it has to, oh, that's it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I need a little bit more greens. The greens are really our friend with flower design. We are going to use them to hide all of those mechanics. So don't be afraid to really cut some of these short. Eliminate any of the greens that might touch our water. And just slide them to sort of accent where you want to send the eye. This is gorgeous. Okay, so my favorite part of Memorial Day arrangements is the fun little novelty stars. And so do you see how we have sort of a 1 and a 2 here? And we want to use this to counterbalance that. And it's going to sort of sit centralized right here, creating that lovely firework. Now each of these flowers is going to open up over the next couple of days, so you will be able to watch as these flowers sort of change and rearrange. What do we think? Once again, thank you so much for supporting a Minneapolis-based small business, and cheers to a happy Memorial Day.